faces light up. People start dancing. People step out into the street.
Drill and step has roots in the resistance, agency, and self-expression of Africans and African Americans. Many of the musical and dance elements of step and drill have roots in West African societies, the cultural innovation of slaves, and the celebration of community through parades. The practice of drill and step continues to evolve while maintaining the core ideals of strength and racial pride.
It's about pride, unity, and community.
Drums and dance were essential to West African societies, so slave masters often outlawed both for fear that slaves were sending coded messages, practicing African religions, and because dancing was an empowering expression of African culture. Slaves used their bodies to make beats and rhythms, to communicate with one another, maintain cultural traditions from Africa, and to build community in their new, harsh environment. Dancing allowed them to remember their origins, find a will to endure, and regain a sense of hope through their community.
The beat is how you get the rhythm. That's just like go back to Africa. The beat is how you get the rhythm. So as long as you get that beat, and if you got a good beat, you're all right.
Despite the brutality of Reconstruction and the emergence of Jim Crow laws after slavery, with its continuing limits on Black bodies and voices, African Americans continued to find ways to resist through music, artistic and intellectual creation, and community pride, including dynamic performances of drill and step. Drill teams incorporated militaristic elements of line formations, the use of drums, and performance in parades. Step teams largely formed in Black Greek letter organizations in the early 20th century and focused on clapping and stomping rhythms in combination with recorded music.
After the GI Bill put so many African Americans in college after being in Vietnam and joining the reserves, they learned some type of military formation. So they then incorporated the singing, the dancing and the transitions along with military formation. Okay, so it was called marching. So that's what it was, and so it went from marching to stepping. Now within my fraternity, it's still considered marching. Okay, so the thing is you carry out like a military precision along with an instrumentation of your hands, whether you're beating or with your feet. And so that was where it came from. So everything had to be on a rhythm. Everything was on a timing. Everything was in a rhythm. So that's pretty much where that's where it came from. It was more of a way of engaging individuals to come and participate to watch what the Greeks were doing, because singing kind of got old.
Black students at predominantly white colleges formed fraternities and sororities in the early 20th century to stay together because they were not allowed to join white social organization. Black students had to stay together to face the struggle of discrimination. The very first Black fraternity was Alpha Phi Alpha, which formed at Cornell University.
It's impacted me professionally. It's allowed me the confidence to do a lot of different things that I never thought that I would do. You establish lifelong friends that you've met, within recent times, but you feel like you've known them your whole life, and they're more aware of what's going on with you than even family members. So it's different. It's a great experience, I tell you that.
One of the ways that fraternities and sorority members bonded together was by forming step teams. Step teams gave Black college students a way to be active, have fun, express their culture, and eventually put on public performances that they could use to draw attention to social issues.
I believe it gives you a certain level of confidence that you have when you present to the public. It gives you a level of confidence that you pretty much didn't know that you had before. Some people knew that they had it and they just embellished within it.
Contemporary drill and step includes many multicultural influences, as well as historical elements such as bodily percussion, polyrhythm, circle formations, synchronization, and take on both personal, communal, and even spiritual significance. Step and drill continues to evolve and incorporate new trends while maintaining core characteristics and values. It is an enduring symbol of racial pride, strength, and unity.
You know, sometimes I have to say, let's go back and look at how it originated. You know, you may have to go back and look at how the African steps started to get a sense of, to keep that in there, basically to keep that part of your routine. So yes, it's great to do some of today's traditional dances, but I like to go back. We actually had a gentleman from Africa came in one year, and he taught our girls, and he did a workshop on the traditional African dance. We took that and we incorporated that in part of our routine. Most of the girls was unfamiliar with that dance because all they were seeing is just what you see on TV, and not understood that where it originated from, where the history of it came from. Once they defined it and got it down pat, they loved it. So that's part of our routines to this day.
African American migration from the South helped populate Omaha in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Redlining and racial discrimination in politics, social life, and the workplace ultimately confined Black people to North Omaha. As a result, there were not as many opportunities for mobility through job promotion and better housing.
Many friends and family come back to Omaha for the Juneteenth and Native Omaha Days celebration. Parades are also a way for drill step to showcase their talent and ability and represent their diverse roots through dance. Parades provided a representation of their community, reflected in a positive way, celebrating agency, unity, and cultural pride in North Omaha.
It's the celebration of freedom. Juneteenth is the celebration of the ending of slavery. And I guess what we try to get across to the community, that it's also an opportunity to celebrate African American culture, African American achievement, African American families, business, camaraderie, unity. And so it's really the one celebration that we have during the year for the community.
During the 1980s, African American dance culture began to gain wider popularity, and many cultures began to embrace and change the steps to include their own traditions. Films such as School Days and Stomp the Yard are two of the movies that popularized drill and step. These movies show the pride and community of the drill and step dancing teams to a wider audience.
Drill and step teams are about community, but the community can't exist without the individual. People join step and drill teams for a variety of reasons, some of them because it is part of their tradition.
For no other reason, it shows unity. It shows that there is something that young people can do that can still be a voice.
Whatever the reason, drill and step teams continue to be an important part of Omaha's African American tradition.
Probably wouldn't be where I'm at today, where I'm in leadership positions, whether it's on my job or it's in the community. So the drill team basically taught me how to become a better leader, better father. It taught me how to interact with individuals that may have not been able to do anything positive with their life.
It actually kept me out of a lot of trouble. It was a hobby at first, now it's a passion of mine. Like, I could have been out here doing all kind of other things that was bad, but drill team kind of saved my life from when I was young.